Guys, I do not want to give Jeff Neal a hard time. I do not want to do that. I appreciate Neal a lot. And I know that he's tough enough and successful enough that he can handle if old Chael gives him a couple of bumps. I'm using him as an example. And I would never kick a man when he's down. What we've been told about Jeff Neal is that he's got an injury. And all that I wish him is well. I will share with you the psychology of the fan, because I am one, and so are you. If you are an underdog in a fight and you pull out, it is meaningfully different than if you were the favorite. And boxing doesn't have these issues. I constantly hear about MMA and boxing being compared. Constantly. In my life, I have seen one boxing main event not come through. And you might be able to correct me over the course of my lifetime. I'm sharing with you, I didn't see it. There was never a time. Let's see who I first came up through. The greatest ever, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard, when the Four Horsemen really existed. Hagler, Hearns, Duran. Every event went on just as planned. Everybody made weight. Sugar Ray versus the Canadian sensation Donnie Lalonde. Remember that? Fight went on exactly when planned. Everybody made weight. Then you pass it to the Mike Tyson era. Every single fight. On time, on weight. Then you bring in the Golden Boy. You interchange that a little bit with Pac-Man. Bring in Floyd Mayweather. How come they don't lose their fights? How come they don't miss the scale? How come they don't call in 3 weeks early? How come it doesn't happen? How come it happens in our sport all the time? And if you want to do a little bit further research, you are going to find an extremely lopsided sum that it's the underdog who cancels, and it's different. It's different. It feels different. The guy that's a 2-1 favorite, the guy that's a 3-1 favorite, what, he never gets hurt, he never misses weight. He never gets these owies and these boo-boos. Well, no, statistically speaking, no, he does not. No, only underdogs do. Only the guy whose career feels he's going to be derailed. Only the guy that feels as though he's being the stepping stone. Only the guy that's going to walk out second. Only the guy with a lower ranking. And you can trace this back. Like, I'm not a nerd. I'm not going to sit around and do it. But there are some nerds amongst us that like to do this and get credit for it. I'll give it to you. But if you go back and do it, you're not going to find favorites that are pulling out of fights. You're going to find dogs. And it's got a very different feel. Now, I heard from Rakhmonov. And I really liked what Rakhmonov had to say because he wants to fight. He wants to fight. And it can be anybody. I had a suggestion of Kevin Lee. Now, you guys know a lot of that is personal. I would like to see Kevin Lee get back. Kevin Lee is coming off of a win, just to remind you. I didn't like how Kevin Lee left in the first place. Kevin was hurt with a knee injury, returns off of an injury, which is never great for anybody. Then you've got the layoff, which is never great for anybody. And then he goes to a weight class he never competed in, which is never great for anybody. It was a very good fight. He lost. Okay. Whatever happened, he's out. But he got to win if he wants to come back. I'm just suggesting for you, right? We have signed meaningful players in today's field. A grand total of none of them have stepped up that I know of. I give a guy credit. I would definitely give him credit if I knew who it was. And there was a fighter at 185 pounds where Rakhmonov would have to leave the weight class to do the match. But I haven't seen any 170-pounders offer. And Kevin Lee said that he would do it, and Rakhmonov got back to me, and he said that he would do the Kevin Lee fight. I respect it. I have no bigger point than that. I'm just sharing with you. It's very different. It's very, very different if you follow our sport and you juxtapose it against boxing. You look at how many of them who are scheduled for 12 rounds, for goodness sake, don't pull out of fights. They don't miss weight. There's another phenomenon. And we do it all the time. And if you were to look at those pullouts that we have and do one further level of research and see how many times the favorite pulls out, that's going to look a lot like boxing. Never. Boy, we got a lot of underdogs that sure find a lot of excuses.